Today we are making the famous and the popular kabsa. It's a Saudi dish, and it became popular in the last century in Yemen. We actually, Yemenis, were the first people to cook rice in the Middle East. They went to India and they brought the rice with them. They started cooking the Indian recipes and improving them. There's the mendi and biryani, which is Indian, and there's the kabsa. My kabsa, well, it has been presented in the Italian show, Master Chef. And today I will teach you how to make the proper kabsa my way. So, first we start with cutting the onion. We peel the onion. So, we cut the onion into very small pieces. I believe half is enough. So, of course, the quantity depends on how many people you are cooking for. This is a heart made out of tomatoes. It's not a real heart. It's heart of tomatoes. For you all women out there, be strong. We will cook for you. I'm sorry, man. Now that we are finished with the tomatoes and the chipotle, it's useful and it's healthy. Here. Next, we will use cardamom. 5. It gives the kabsa the smell and the flavor. Don't eat it. It's just for the flavor. A small spoon of black pepper. A small spoon of salt. Half a spoon of curcuma. We also use brodo vegetale. We use half a spoon. We sprinkle some garlic. I use dry garlic because as a taste it's weaker than the fresh one. Next, you need to wash the rice. You can find it in the Indian shops. They're all over Milan. It's not in the supermarket, so don't search it in the supermarket. First we open it, just a little bit. Okay, we put half. This is 1 kilo, we put half. Always depending on the quantity of the people you are cooking for. So it's about half. Now we just add some a little more. Okay, that's half. Hot water. Wash the rice 3 times just to make sure. Now, of course, this way I'm making sure that it's cleansed and washed properly. So, just okay. And we leave it there. Time for chicken. This is halal chicken. You can use any other kind of chicken, but as a Muslim, I prefer the halal one. So we unpack it. To remove the skin, you just need to hold the chicken. Of course, there's some ice in this one. on this side, so it will be easier for you. These are the legs of the chicken. Usually I use a whole chicken, but these two legs are the size of one whole chicken in Yemen. Even our chicken are so slim and thin. When I arrived here, I was 60 kilos, but thanks to the great diet I'm having, now I'm about 100. Thank you, pizza. I will take this chance to tell you my story with the pizza. When I first came to Italy, for the first 6 months, I eat nothing but the kebab and pizza. Sometimes we mix it in both, pizza kebab. And usually, like, my stomach was very small. At the beginning, I couldn't finish one pizza. It was like, oh my, I cannot finish it. And now I can eat 1.5. I'm not following my own advice. Yeah, because this one is icy more. Icy more. Ah. Now we separate the chicken. We cut it this way. This half and this half. I will show you in this, from this part right here. Then we break this part to know where the joint is in the chicken. We don't want to cut through bones, so that's the joint. We cut through the joint. Okay. If you want, you can also cut this into 2 pieces, but I prefer to leave it like this, just to have big pieces of meat in my kabsa. Remember always to wash your hand when you are cooking. This is Iranian za'afaran. I had it as a gift. It's very expensive, but for those who cannot reach the Iranian za'afaran, they can use the normal one, the one in the supermarket. But my advice, if you can afford to buy this, use it. It gives the food another flavor. Fill this with hot water, okay? And then sprinkle, not much, okay, of za'afaran, and we leave it in the water. Even though it doesn't change color immediately, but the taste will be there. We bring a pan with girth, not tall, not high, but wide. So this way the rice will not burn and the heat will distribute. You can use this oil. Well, for me, I prefer this because it's lighter. Just we heat it. Now that the oil is hot, we add the onion. Then we add the chicken. Turn up the heat. into the middle. Then we add the spices that we prepared before. Two leaves of alloro. And then we turn everything. Then we add the tomatoes. Add a cup of water. While always we make sure that the water is barely covering the chicken, and we make sure that it barely covers the rice, otherwise the grains will stick to each other. And when we add the rice, we need to see the water boiling actually, otherwise the rice will be sticking to each other. We need to cover for the chicken to cook very well, and this way we will keep the water level up.
5 minutes later.
Okay, now we add the rice to the chicken, the boiling chicken. You can see that the rice is barely under the water. If you want to make sure, you take a spoon this way you make sure that it's okay. Of course we will not forget about the zafferano. After a few minutes, we cover the rice to cook, and we turn down the heat a little bit. When I use the cooker, usually it takes 10 minutes, but with this, maybe it will take longer, and we always make sure to turn the rice in this process. I advise you to use la pentola a pressione, the cooker, because that way it's easier. You need less water because it cooks with the steam. So that way you will avoid the miscalculation of the water, and you will avoid, the worrisome that I added a lot of water, I added less water. you just need to add less water. Like if you have 1 kilo, you need to add half a liter of water, and that's enough in the cooker. But when you use this, you need to be balanced. If you can see, but I need to turn down the heat and cook now with the steam of the water. We will leave it there to cook for 15 minutes. As you can see, the rice isn't sticking to each other. So now time for the presentation. No. We eat like this with hands in Yemen, but it's hot and I'm in Italy, so let's taste it. Hot, but very good. Buono. See you next time with another recipe, and make sure to follow my channel to taste more delicious Yemeni food, and also there will be some inventions. Subscribe to my channel for not missing the next video, which is gonna be a very special video because it's gonna discuss something very important that is happening where I live now. So see you in the next video, and don't forget, subscribe and like. Ciao!